Tell me if you've ever been in this situation. You have banking for your business, but you might have wanted to open a new bank account, or maybe you wanted to send an international wire transfer, or maybe you needed to order some checks or something, and you call up the bank and they say, yeah, we can't do that online. You have to come into the branch to get that done. Well, if you've ever been in that situation, I know I have, it can be kind of frustrating because then you have to schedule the time to do it. You have to think, how long is it going to really take me at the bank? What if I get there and there's a long line, and maybe you're trying to do it in a 30-minute window and there's no way when you get there, there's people in front of you and there's no way you're going to get it done in 30 minutes. Or maybe it takes you a while to get to your actual branch. Like, whatever it is, we're kind of in a situation now where we're so used to doing everything online, we think, hey, why can't we do this online? It should be fairly simple, right? Well, I believe that, and our sponsor of today's video, Relay, they also believe that, but some of the traditional banking solutions don't. So I want to tell you about a modern banking solution, and that is Relay, and they are sponsoring today's video. But what this video is going to be about is actually showing you the platform of Relay and walking you through everything that you can do, because the power is in your hands with Relay, because we can do everything from our laptops, or from your mobile phone too. There's lots of functionality on the mobile app as well. And they believe that you should have the power to be able to control, opening a new bank account, issuing a new debit card. All those things should be able to be in your hands. And if you need to do them at midnight after the end of a long day, you should be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is hop into the Relay platform and show it to you guys. I'm going to walk through some of the functionality, and the more I'm in this platform, the more I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited because I am actually starting a new LLC, a new business, and I will be setting up Relay for that business. And so that'll be a future video of actually setting up an account from scratch. But I want to show you the functionality of a demo product that we have here. So let's go ahead and hop into that. And before we do that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you here as a subscriber. My goal is to bring you tools and information that are going to help you have an easier time with your business finances. So if that means banking solutions, if that means helping you understand your profit better, those are the types of videos I want to bring to you on this channel. So I would love to have you here as a subscriber, but let's go ahead and I'm going to show you Relay. So here we are in Relay, and this is a demo product, so it already has some information in here already uploaded for us, but it still is fully functional, so I can show you guys some of the things that you would be able to do. But also keep in mind, it's not fully connected, kind of like we have with our QuickBooks tutorials. So it's not fully connected. Not everything is going to work exactly how it's going to be in real life, but this is a pretty great demo product that from what I can tell here as I've been playing around with it. So this is just the general user interface, okay? Before I show you actually the functionality, a couple things I want to mention about Relay. So Relay is not a bank in and of itself. It is a financial technology that is using an underlying bank, and that bank is Thread Bank. And so all of the functionality of the actual banking is being supported by an FDIC insured bank, Thread Bank. And then this Relay is it's sort of the functionality on top to help it be very user friendly. And it's also helping us organize our transactions better. It's giving us a lot of fintech capabilities that, a lot of traditional banks do not have. So it's it's combining the best of fintech along with the banking support of Thread Bank. So these two things together is what you get when you get Relay. Now, Relay is completely free to use, okay? I don't know if I mentioned that. I did mention it in one of the previous videos, but Relay is completely free to use. There is a pro version. I'll point out anything that is specifically pro, but a lot of this you're going to be able to get completely for free. And there's no account minimums, no transfer fees between accounts, and there's no account fees to hold these accounts, and there's no fees to issue debit cards or anything like that. And there's very, very minimal fees, except for when we get into wire transfers, which are actually very inexpensive as well. $10 for international wire transfers and $5 for domestic wire transfers, okay? So very low fee banking, almost no fees. If you don't send wire transfers, you can pretty much use this platform for completely free, okay? So that is something very good to know, because I have seen some crazy fees some banks are charging. So, and then you do have up to $3 million of FDIC insurance from the thread bank that they have access to, or that is the underlying kind of supported bank, okay? And then if you guys have questions about anything, please put them in the comment section below and we will get those questions answered for you. Okay, let's go and look at the functionality though. So the first thing I wanna point out is that we can set up accounts. So you can have up to 20 checking accounts and up to 2 savings accounts. And now, I would not recommend having 20 accounts in almost any situation. And this Relay does work really well with the Profit First system. If you've ever heard of Profit First, it's a book by Mike Michalowicz. I have it back here on my shelf. I have read it. It is something that some people really like to implement in their business. I like parts of Profit First, and one thing I do really like is to be able to separate our tax savings. I would always like people to have at least 1 checking account and 2 savings accounts, and one of those savings accounts is general for long-term use and one is specifically for tax savings. So I like to start more simply with 3 accounts. But if you are a Profit First follower, this is a perfect solution for you because there are auto rules where you can actually split out any money coming in and actually split it out into your different income categories, okay? But we're not gonna talk about Profit First today, but what I am gonna show you is here, you can see that you can have multiple checking accounts. So each one of these little cards represents a different checking account, okay? Now you can look in here and you can also see that up at the top, they have savings and they have checking. So you can see also in just a quick snapshot what your savings is actually earning you. You can earn interest on savings, and this is going to change depending on when you watch this video. So don't come after me if you said, hey, the savings accounts was this when you did your video and it's a year later and the savings has changed, because we all know that savings rates change throughout time depending on what the Fed is doing and whatnot. So don't come after me. Savings rates will change, okay? So when you look at each one of these individuals, these are different checking accounts that have already been opened. And you can see here too that we have a couple accounts that don't even have anything in them, and that is okay. There's no account minimums with Relay, so you can have an account with 0 balance in it. I actually just set up this wire account because sometimes I like to be able to, for my clients, if they are receiving wire transfers from clients, they have to send their account details to somebody to be paid. And I don't like the idea of sending my main operating checking account out to strangers or people, clients that you might be working with that you don't really know if, the person that's in their accounting department is totally trustworthy, and they might take that information and be able to do something bad with it, or maybe it gets into the wrong hands and somehow your checking account could be compromised. So what I like to do when we're doing a lot of wire transfers is to set up a separate wire account so that we can send those details, but basically once we get paid, we transfer it into our operating account. So it's a way to sort of like separate out the risk so you're not sending your checking account detail all over the place. So some people will call this like an income account where all the incoming money goes into one account, but then it gets swiftly moved over to an operating account where you can actually use it to pay payroll, rent, other things. But I went ahead and actually set one up, but you can actually, I want to show you how to quick it is to add a new account. This is where you don't have to go into a branch and have this done. You can just literally do it right here. You can say, okay, maybe I want a wire account too. Would never recommend this, but I'm just giving you guys an example. We're setting that up. We already have 2 savings accounts, so that's why this is grayed out. But I can set up another checking account. I can select who on my team has access to it, and I can create an account. And literally, it's done. I just saved myself so much time from having to go into the actual branch to have this done. I could get it done right here, and I can go ahead and fund this. So I can either transfer from another account or I can bring it in from an externally connected account. So maybe if I have a personal account that I've connected that I want to make investments into my business, I can pull money in from my personal account. Or if you have a separate business or a separate bank that you're using for your business, you can move money over. So very easy to fund the account. You can select that here and move over, or you can just leave it at a 0 balance. That's something you can do as well. So really excited about how easy it is to add accounts here. Now, don't go crazy. This is the CFO hat saying, don't go crazy. Think about functionally what you really need accounts for, and there should be a purpose for every account, okay? So just before you go crazy and open up 20 checking accounts, because when you do 20 checking accounts, you're going to have to reconcile 20 checking accounts, which will be easy because all of this syncs directly to your accounting system if you're using QuickBooks Online or Xero, but it just takes more work to actually go through each one of the statements and reconcile it in your accounting system. So don't create more work for yourself. Try to make it simple and keep it simple. That's usually the better solution, okay? So we can set up new accounts here. Really quickly, if you look in here, we can grab statements. You can see your transactions here in the feed. You can grab your statements and download those really easily. You can also see your account details. It's hidden, but if you want to view it, it has the ability to do that. If you need to send a domestic wire, here's all the information you need for that account. If you want to send an international wire, here is the information you'll need for that as well. So it's all available. Oh, so it didn't load the information just because we're in the demo product here. So all of that is available when you click into each one of your individual accounts. So going back, a couple other things I want to point out. You can obviously grab your statements. The auto transfer is really interesting. So if you want to set up some rules to say when my account hits a certain amount, I want money to go here, or every dollar that comes in, I want it to be split between these different percentages. You know, I think this is really intriguing when we could set up a like specifically maybe tax savings. Let's say you're a sole proprietor and every dollar that comes in, you would like to put 25% over into a tax savings account so that you don't touch it and that you just know that your taxes are there when it's time to pay estimated taxes. This is perfect for that, okay? So you can make it really clear for if you wanted to have this done every day, every week, every month, and you can set up these transfer rules. So you can add additional ones here as well if you want to do specific percentages. So I really love the fact that they have this because it's a lot of control that you can have over your accounts. And if you really know exactly what you need to be saving, or you have maybe some goals where you want to be saving towards something, you can set this up so it's kind of a no-brainer for you. So really like that. Now, another one of the benefits of Relay is that you have the ability to add cards, debit cards and virtual cards, and then also physical cards. So virtual cards are going to be just giving an individual a number that they can use to go and buy things online. Like, you know, if you need to go buy things, your team needs to go buy things on Amazon, they have a number that they can plug into the system and that can be used. Or if you have somebody who needs to run errands and maybe they're the person that goes and buys supplies at Costco and they also go to pick up lunch for you, they might need to have a physical card. So if that's the case, you can order a physical, go up here to create cards. You can order a virtual card or a physical card and you can have up to 50 cards. Okay, so if you have a big team, this is a really great way to manage spend. And then you also have the ability to add receipts into the system in like 6 different ways. People can email receipts, they can get the app and upload them. You can have the owner of every card get emailed when a transaction happens that doesn't have a receipt. And then they send a link to your phone and you can just take a picture and upload it straight from there. So they have all these different ways that you can upload receipts, and individual card owners are the ones that are responsible for getting the receipts in. You can set up some receipt capture rules. So you can say, hey, anything above $75 needs to have a receipt, and you can decide what makes sense for your organization. You can also pay bills with Relay. So, and that's not all, folks. Seriously, as I was going through this, I was like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Like, this is really good functionality for what we need as small business owners. And that's the thing. Relay was made specifically for small businesses in mind. And when you see these tools, you're like, yeah, that's exactly the type of stuff that I would need. So you can pay bills through Relay as well. In the payment section, you can set up different payees. You can pay bills. Now, they do have the Pro version that will allow you to sync up with your QuickBooks Online or your Xero bills. And upload those into this payment system. So that's kind of an add-on. I believe it's $30 a month to be able to get to the pro version. So if you want that to sync with your accounting system and have more functionality, you can upgrade to the pro version. You do get free wire transfers and faster ACH payments when you upgrade. So that can, like, if you're sending a couple different wire transfers in a month, you can very quickly pay for that $30 in the pro. So, just look and see if you think you're going to need that functionality. But if you're just paying a bill every now and then and you want to be able to track this, you can just go and add a new payment. You can add a new payee down here if it's not already in the system. You can add in their email and actually get them to, it'll email them and get them to put in all of their payment information and their W-9 information so that you can make sure to track that for 1099s. So this does have that good functionality of being able to pay bills, and I love seeing that. You can set up recurring payments as well. That'll be great for me. I have this rented space, and when I have to pay my rent every single month, I don't want to have to try to remember that every single month. So this is a great tool here. And then there are some approvals that you can set up as well. We're not going to get into that, but I want to highlight a couple more things. You can add team members here, and there's a bunch of different levels that you can have each team member. So let's look here at like Pip Pipperson. Pip is an administrator, but there are a bunch of there's 7 different levels of access. You can have people who just need to look at the information. They can't functionally do anything. That's a read-only. You can have somebody who can just pay bills, somebody who's only a card holder, a manager. You can have a depositor only, and then a bill payer. So there's imported bills only. Okay, so there's 2 different bill payer access. So you can decide which one is the right fit, and then you can add individuals. So you don't, even though somebody's a card holder, you don't necessarily want them to have access to be able to look at everything with your banking. So they can have a card and not see like what are the balances in your accounts, for example. So something to think about, you can have all of your team members have access to cards. I think going back to cards, we can also set limits on any cards. There's daily limits and then monthly transaction limits. So I think we can make this like really low. Maybe if we just say like daily limit is like $100 and monthly transaction is maybe $300. You can change those. So if you have somebody who's just needs to have a card only because maybe they're going to go and grab coffees for people or something, you want them to have a lower limit than, somebody who's like maybe constantly ordering supplies or maybe ordering inventory. You could have a really big discrepancy on some people have more access, some people have less access. Okay, a couple other things I wanted to show you before we wrap up. You can also have a separate business under the same login. So if you have multiple businesses, you can have multiple Relay accounts for those different businesses under the same login, which is kind of nice. There is an accountant platform too. So if you're an accountant, you want to make sure to get set up as an accountant so you can have access to your different clients. And then obviously it integrates with QuickBooks and Xero, as I mentioned here. And then here's that quick look at what you get with Relay Pro. Everything in standard. Basically everything I've showed you today is standard, but you can auto import. It's really the bill pay where you're getting that real big leg up with the Pro. If you want to import all your bills from Xero or QuickBooks Online and you want to manage those bills in this hub, a little bit more workflow automations that you can have. And then if you want to pay bills in batches, and then you're getting that free domestic and international wire. And then the same day ACH transfers. If it's not, it's 1 to 3 days typically for ACH transfers if you're just on your regular plan. And so you have that faster processing if you are on the Relay Pro. So overall, I'm just really impressed with the platform. I love the functionality of it. All of this stuff syncs easily to your QuickBooks so that you can reconcile really easily. And yeah, I'm impressed. So definitely, if you want to learn more about Relay, you can go to claracfo.com/relay. Go check it out. Put any questions that you have in the comment section below, and I will try to answer them there. Or if they warrant an additional video, I'm happy to show you guys some additional functionality. So I think I've covered most of the highlights of why this platform is pretty cool. So if you have any other questions, as I mentioned, put them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys next time. All right, bye.